Where's your emergency? What's going on there?
I just tried to wake up my daughter for school, and she has no pulse.
How old is she?
Everybody put your hands out of the vehicle there.
This is Emma Jane Walker, an absolutely gorgeous girl. She was born on March 20th, 2000 in Knoxville, Tennessee, and she grew up in a small town right outside of Knoxville. It was kind of a rural mountain town, a very low-key and religious small area. Her parents are Mark Walker and Jill Walker, and she also has a brother named Evan. Emma was described as being super sweet and very down-to-earth. She was known for being an extremely kind and friendly person that people just loved.
People who didn't know her were like, oh, she's like a super pretty cheerleader, like, oh no. But then they would meet her and be like, she's the nicest person I've ever met.
People had nothing but positive things to say about her. Truly, she had tons and tons of friends and got along with pretty much everyone she came across. Her dream in life was actually to be a nurse. Not only did she want to be a nurse, but she also wanted to be a neonatal nurse, working with infants in intensive care or premature babies. So she had that kind of heart. I mean, most people who were nurses are just such good people. So that tells you a lot about her. She did tons of volunteer work, and specifically she volunteered at an animal shelter regularly. She was also really into competitive dance and cheerleading. She entered Central High School as a freshman in 2014, and she tried out for their cheer team and was the only freshman who actually made it onto the team. So she was very successful with her cheerleading, and in high school she was successful overall. She had a ton of different friends, was an honor student, and during her freshman year, she met a boy named Riley. Now this is Riley Goff. Riley was 2 years older than her, and he was a star wide receiver on the football team. Riley was actually very active in his church, and he was known to be a great student and was overall just that kind of, boy next door. It all on paper looked good. His friends described him as someone who was kind of a nerd growing up and was really into Star Wars. Then, as he got older in high school, he became very involved with football. So Emma ended up having a pretty big crush on Riley, but at the time, Riley was dating somebody else. However, it wasn't long until he broke up with that other girl to date Emma. They hit it off right away, especially because they were kind of like that, storybook romance out of the high school perfect world. He's the football star, she's the cheerleader, kind of the perfect story. Now, one thing that was really weird is that even though Riley broke up with his ex-girlfriend, he promised her that he would still take her to the prom. So even though he was already dating Emma at the time, he took his ex to the prom, his junior year, and then he took Emma his senior year. This made Emma's parents really concerned. They figured he wasn't prioritizing her, and they were worried about her getting hurt by him. Now, they expressed this concern to her, but she was very stubborn and independent and really liked to make her own mind up, so she kind of disregarded their concerns. So when it came to Riley, there was some tension in the family regarding this subject. The perfect couple didn't last too long. They started breaking up on and off all the time, and her friends started expressing concern about the fact that Riley never really seemed interested in getting to know them or hanging out with them. And that's kind of an odd thing. He didn't really want much to do with her friends, and he also didn't want her to have much to do with her friends. They said that he started becoming very possessive of her, and then it got to the point where he was mad if she was wearing certain things. He tried to control the way she was dressing. When she was at work, he would go to her work and just hang out there for hours waiting for her to get off. Whenever she did go out with her friends or do something with her girlfriends, without him there, he would be obsessively calling and texting her, just blowing up her phone. He totally didn't trust her, wanting to know where she was and what she was doing at all times. So obviously that's very unhealthy in any relationship, but especially in a high school one. Like, As a parent, I would be very concerned as well. Eventually, he started sending pretty aggressive messages to her via Snapchat. One of them in particular said, "You're dead to me. I'll check the obituary. Fuck you." He would also threaten that he was going to kill himself if she did not get back together with him. They got into this vicious cycle where they would fight, get really nasty with each other, and then they would make up and get back together. Everything would be good for a while, then they would break up, fighting all over again. So her parents really wanted to try to, end this relationship, especially since it was so on and off. They were like, this is just better if we encourage her to end it completely. So they decided to ban him from coming to their house, and they also took her phone in an effort to try to control her communication with him. However, Riley gave her an iPad Touch, which is kind of funny. So they were able to still communicate without her parents knowing. But after dating on and off for 2 years, Riley ended up graduating high school, and he attended Maryville College, and that was about half an hour away from Emma. So her parents were happy that they had some separation, but obviously it's not that much. But Emma and Riley decided that they were going to continue dating even after he left for school. And at this point, her parents felt like there was absolutely no point in this, and they banned her from talking to him at all. However, they still found ways to be sneaky with each other and still communicated. So her parents became so desperate for them to break up. They had such a bad feeling about him. They banned her from leaving the house for any reason unless it was for school or cheerleading practice. And after a while, her parents noticed that this was starting to work, and Emma was really acting like her old self again, and she seemed happier. But then things started taking a turn for the worse. It was right before Thanksgiving break in 2016. Emma ended up seeing Snapchats of Riley with other girls on campus, and this really made her upset. So this time, Emma decided to break up with Riley for good. She decided that she deserved better than that, and especially if he wasn't going to take their relationship seriously and respect her enough to, take pictures with other girls and whatever else he was doing.
Her parents were very relieved. They felt like this was the time that she was serious about breaking up with him, and they were hoping to get the old Emma back. But Riley, however, did not handle the breakup well at all. Right after they broke up, he attempted to commit suicide by drinking a bunch of alcohol and taking a bunch of Vicodin pills. Luckily, he did not pass away from this. So needless to say, he was not taking things very well at all, and his friends and family were concerned about him. So then November 18th came along. It was a Friday night, and Emma's high school had won a big football game, and one of her friends was having a little after party at her house. And Emma's parents decided that she would be allowed to go since it seemed like things had gotten a lot better, and it seemed like she wasn't talking to Riley anymore. So she was at the party when all of a sudden, she started receiving these super sketchy texts around 11:30 p.m. Now, these text messages were threatening her, saying, "I've got someone you love, I'm going to harm them, come outside if you don't want to see them get hurt." So obviously she was very concerned. But she did think that maybe there was a chance it was Riley's friends playing some type of prank on her. Shortly after, she got another text that said, "He's in a ditch beside her house. It's a shame you can cause all this and not value someone else's life." So this is when Emma and her friend decided that they were going to go outside and just check it out. When they went outside, they saw a man face down on the ground near the bushes near the end of the driveway of this girl's house where the party was being held. He was kind of up there near on the shrub, and he was just kind of laying down, and it was Riley. So Riley started waking up and acting super confused, having no idea how he ended up there. He said someone had kidnapped him and he had no idea where he was or how he ended up there. And they said that he was just holding his head like someone had hit him or knocked him out or something. She was very uneasy. She was very upset. She was crying. She didn't know what to think because she was just like, "We just broke up. Leave me alone." After he got up, he called one of his friends to pick him up, and he told his friend that someone had knocked him out, put him in a car, and taken him to this house. And even his own friend didn't believe him. He basically told him that these people knocked him out, took his car, and threw him in a van, and he didn't know where he was. And she thought the whole event was super weird. She just had a feeling something was, odd about the whole thing, and she wished that Riley would just leave her alone and let her move on with her life. So the next day, it was around 10:15 a.m., and Emma was home, actually just getting ready to go meet her mom somewhere, when someone started banging on her front door. And this really freaked her out. She was home alone, so she actually ended up texting Riley and saying that she hated him, but she needed him, and so he decided to drive on over to her house. So when Emma didn't end up meeting her mom when she was supposed to, her mom drove back to their house, and this is when she saw Emma and Riley just sitting on the driveway talking to each other. And she went over there and told him that he had to leave, and he did. So the next day was Sunday, and Emma was still really shaken up about the person banging on her door, the weird text messages, Riley being kidnapped, and all of it was just very intense. But it seemed like she was kind of calming down on Sunday. She had worked that day, so her parents ended up following her to and from work to make sure she was okay, so they were clearly very concerned about her. Later that night, Emma and her dad went out and got some Sonic, some ice cream, and her dad said he noticed that Emma was starting to act a little bit more like herself, definitely calming down after the weekend's events, and that just overall she seemed better. So that night, Emma got ready for bed like normal, her dad said goodnight to her like normal, and she went to sleep. But then, during the middle of the night, her dad heard a really loud banging noise. He said it sounded as if someone was in the house and slammed a door really, really hard. So he woke up and was startled, and then he heard it again. So he ran out of bed and ran to check on Emma and her brother. When he opened Emma's bedroom door, he saw her in her bed. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary. She just looked like she was laying there asleep. So Emma's dad was just convinced that maybe he was just hearing things. I mean, I'm sure you must have had moments like that where you just kind of have to convince yourself that you didn't hear something because you're like, there's no explanation for it. Everything seemed normal in their house, so he just went back to bed. But the next morning around 6 a.m., her parents were getting up, getting ready, starting their morning routine, and her mom went into Emma's room to wake her up. And she normally was really easy to wake up, so her mom thought it was really unusual that she wasn't responding to her when she first tried to wake her up. She tried bumping her legs, she called her name several times, and Emma would not wake up.
And said her name, didn't hear anything, bumped her leg, didn't hear anything, and then went to her face and realized and checked for a pulse and couldn't find anything.